Welcome to the Lucky 3 Ranch, home of the Loveland Long Ears Museum and Sculpture Park, and Meredith Hodges and her champion mules and donkeys. For over 40 years, Meredith Hodges has trained and rehabilitated equines, developing a specialized process called athletic conditioning. Established in 1980, Lucky 3 Ranch has become synonymous with excellence in the breeding, training, and preservation of mules and donkeys, or as they are affectionately known, long ears. Today we invite you to explore the training philosophy that brings together behavior modification, resistance-free sequential training, nutrition, and a profound way to bond with your equine.
There's a lot of talk around natural horsemanship, and it's a wonderful, idealistic way of thinking. And I do believe that the horses in the wild exemplified what a horse is truly supposed to be, or a mule or a donkey. When they're out in the wild, they have the freedom to roam, but those lands are being taken away from these animals. And these animals are now forced to be domesticated and kept in captivity. And I think it's our responsibility to acclimate them to the world that we've created for them.
Good boy. I love it. The trot looks a lot stronger. Yeah, you're able to get a little bit.
Over the past 35 years, it basically came straight from the mule's mouth. I was fortunate enough to really learn from them and not think that I knew it all. And I considered the animal an equal partner. You know, when I'm working with an animal and they're not cooperating or they're not happy, I ask myself, well, how would I feel if I was in their shoes or hooves? Would I like being kept in a box stall for a whole week and then hauled off to a show, to a strange box stall, into an arena that may have very hard ground, maybe soft ground with rocks in it that are chipping my feet, shoes that don't fit, a rider that is all over my back and trying to get me off balance? And I mean, how great a life is that, you know? I mean, but if you want your animal to be happy, these are the kinds of things you need to think about. Because when you take care of these issues, that's when you really see the change in your animal.
One of the most important aspects of your equine's care is a healthy feeding and maintenance program.
It's important to keep the animals on a schedule, feeding them at a certain time every day, because in the wild they are natural grazers. And by putting them in a stall and using the animal for our purpose, we're taking them out of that environment, so we're changing their feed schedules and the way that their body processes the food. Here at the Lucky 3, we have a routine feeding schedule. We feed at 7:30 in the morning and then 5 o'clock in the evening. We pretty much feed based on the weight of the animal, and the large majority of our animals are within the same age range and weight range, and so they pretty much have the same diet.
For average-sized equines of any age, feed a mixture of 1 pound or roughly 2 cups of crimped oats, 1 to 2 ounces of the vitamin concentrate Show Glow, and 1 to 2 ounces of Mazola corn oil for hoof, coat, and digestive tract regularity. Feed this mixture once a day in the evenings, with an average of 1.5 to 2 flakes of grass hay twice a day. We feed them in the evening to make it easier to bring them in with reduced turnout in the spring. Also, it helps them look forward to the rewards in their lesson after a morning feeding of hay only.
In the wild, they practice something called coprophagy, which is a fancy word for they eat their feces. And they do this because they're hindgut fermenters. The equine does not ferment the food before the intestine. So all the readily available carbohydrates they take up in the intestine. All of the complex carbohydrates, they go to the cecum, which is after the intestines. So the cecum ferments that, and then they defecate. And so the cecum has broken down that a little bit more so that they can eat their feces and then get some more nutritional value out of it. But you want to monitor that because that can also continue the cycle of worms and parasites. We're putting them in a box stall. So it's important for us to clean that up, you know, for many reasons, be it thrush, you got fungus problems with the feet, you can have respiratory problems, you know, from the ammonia buildup from the urine. It's important that you clean that stall and keep it properly bedded. Also, when you're cleaning the stall, you need to pay attention to the amount of feces that the horse has laid out that night. A horse that might typically be a one-pile horse, all of a sudden he's 5-pile. Has he gotten into something that day? Has he eaten more than he normally would? You need to pay attention to those things. Also, an excess of urine. There could be some problems, you know, associated with kidneys. One thing to consider if you're going to own an equine is you need to have, you know, adequate land for that equine. They need that space to go out and play and stretch their muscles and get some freedom of movement. Even if you have a run, they still need to be able to extend their gait and naturally develop their muscles. It also, if you have multiple animals, it helps them establish their social structure.
Consistency is the foundation of a healthy relationship between you and your equine. Erratic schedules for feeding, turnout, and grooming increase stress. When you provide a dependable routine, it reinforces good behavior and keeps your animal calm since he knows what to expect. Feeding times and grooming are good opportunities to bond with your equine and check his whole body for any issues that might need outside help from a professional. Owning an equine is a tremendous responsibility, and part of that responsibility is understanding the importance of a professional support system. No one person can be expected to know everything about the management, training, and well-being of their animal. A veterinarian is a must, and there are benefits to having an equine chiropractor, masseuse, and of course a farrier. Athletic conditioning pays special attention to posture and balance. Your equine's hooves are critical to balancing his body structure. There's an old adage, no foot, no mule, and this concept is literally true. Your equine's hooves and their health are the foundation for everything you'll do with him. Take the time to find a skilled, reliable farrier, and don't settle for anything less.
This is B. This is the first mule ever shot here from Meredith. Come on, hon. And so we won't take much off from her, just try to balance her up a little bit. Shoeing is absolutely important to the balance of them. They have to be shod and trimmed to where they're physically comfortable. You've tried to complement that whole body, not just the feet. You have to look at that foot and see if they're toeing in or toeing out, base wide or base narrow stance. What you have to do is you trim out just enough sole to expose however much wall you want to take off. And that's all the sole you have to take off. This is the sole. It's your line is called a white line. This is your separation between your sole, which is live tissue, and your outer wall, which is dead tissue. Anything on the inside of this line, you get blood in here. If you'll just trim the ankle and trim the toe of the foot to where it's in a straight line with a pastern, and that straight line complements the angle of the shoulder, I don't care what his angle is, you're correct for that animal.
An important consideration when choosing your farrier is whether he has the right temperament to work with your animal. As the handler, you have a critical role to play in the shoeing process.
The side your farrier's on is the side you want to be on when the farrier's underneath the horse. Because the horse spooks, he's going to spook away from you. And if your farrier's on the same side of you, then he's not going to get run over. You want to keep your body between their eyes and what he's doing. That way they're not watching what he's doing and getting scared. Whatever, like I said, whatever it takes. If you got to pet them on the neck, whatever they like. If you got to feed them, do whatever it takes to keep them occupied so that he can stay safe.
A farrier can be a good guide to help in understanding when and why your animal needs to be shod.
The horse, being in natural, has no pressures. He's just out there grazing around and having a good time getting fat. Ideally, what they're doing, their wear of the feet is equal to the growth of the feet, so they maintain a status quo all the time. They don't have to go there and jump over this fence. There's nobody there that's going to tell them to jump over this fence or go rope a calf or what have you. The ideal reason for shoeing a horse is to make him usable to man, and no other reason. There's things that you can do with shoes that you cannot do by leaving an animal barefoot. If you're just riding your horse on the ditch banks on the weekends, he really doesn't need shoes. But if you want to go to the mountains and places I go, if you want to ride back, he better be well shod.
Deciding whether or not to shoe your equine means considering what activities you'll be doing with him and shoeing accordingly. There are many different shoes for a wide variety of activities. Looking at all aspects of your equine will help him in his training. Athletic conditioning is more than just conditioning an athlete. It enhances the quality of life and longevity of your animal. The exercises must be planned out sequentially, building upon previous lessons, so the training doesn't hurt the equine. The skills your animal learns will carry him through his entire life and benefit him not only physically, but mentally and emotionally.
They become more willing to perform. They want to be with you. They look forward to the visits with you, and they will do what you ask them to do. And they're capable of doing it.
Whether you're starting with a foal or an adult equine that has inadequate manners, balance, or coordination, the techniques are the same. The first step is to use imprinting. Imprinting is a process that helps the animal get used to the human touch and accepting of that touch. For the handler and equine, it creates a relationship built on patience, confidence, love, respect, and most importantly, trust. This kind of relationship promotes clear communication and will ensure the safety of you and your equine for years to come. Imprinting isn't something you do only when he's a foal. It's the way you touch and handle your animal every time you're with him throughout his entire life. When you pay attention to how an animal likes to be touched and which areas are more sensitive than others, it creates a special bond that will determine whether or not he develops confidence and trust in you. This training begins when you take him from his stall.
Hey, Scoobers.
Always ask the equine to come to you and reward him when he does.
Hi there, Scoobers. Come on. Yeah, it's a good girl.
Positive reinforcement teaches your equine manners and to be patient. Being consistent and setting boundaries is safer for both you and your equine. And from your example, he'll learn good manners and not to be a bully. This is especially important with gait training. Although this seems simple, you can get into trouble if it's not done correctly. There are 3 stages for your equine. He needs to 1. Come to you when called. 2. Wait for your instruction. 3. Go through the gate on the lead rope and turn to face you. These lessons will pay off when he's in a herd situation.
No.
When getting an equine from a pen with multiple animals, ask all of them to stand back. Bring the one you want out of the pen. Give him a reward before closing the gate to make sure he waits patiently, and give the others a reward for standing back.
Mr. Moon, thank you for moving. Ho, ho, ho. Good boy.
The next time, they will back up more easily, and the one you want will come when called. When you have followed the sequential stages of getting to know your equine and properly bonding with him during feeding and grooming, and have done the simple leading exercises in his small pen, you will be ready to begin working together on the lead line.
Showmanship isn't just a matter of teaching your animal how to lead at walk, trot, and to make the turns and the backups and everything. He also needs to learn how to balance his own body so that he's doing straight lines and nice circles with arcs on them when you're walking him, and he's not swinging around like Lance just did here.
Make the lessons fun and playful, and don't ask for perfection at this stage. It's simply interaction with your equine. Try to get him to follow you calmly and willingly. Hold the lead rope in your left hand. Holding the rope directly under his chin interferes with his balance and creates resistance to pull against. Don't create a situation where he'll fight against you. You want him to want to be with you. By keeping the lead rope in the left hand and using the right hand to point in the direction you're going, you can also use your right hand to slow him down if he gets into a hurry or push him away if he leans into your shoulder. This teaches him what the boundaries are.
And whoa. I'm checking my feet as I'm going to make sure that my feet are following his front feet, so we can kind of stay together on this. And whoa. Good boy. Miss B, let's go.
By following these simple guidelines, he learns to walk with you, trot with you, to stop, and most importantly, to square up.
Back. And whoa. Now again, we're going to get him squared up. Keep repeat, repeat. Square up every time he stops. We're going to want to square him up. Good boy. Good boy.
A common misconception is that squaring up and walking in sync is just for showmanship classes.
Bring the other one up. Bring the other one up just a little. That's a good boy. Yeah.
When you ask your animal to put equal weight over all 4 feet, it creates body awareness. This is called proprioception. In this posture, your equine feels secure. Anything rocking one way or the other does not feel secure. At first, this will be awkward for him, and you'll need to make frequent corrections. But your equine will soon realize that this is a more comfortable position than he has ever been in.
We're gonna go trot. And whoa. Good. We're just gonna get him square. He's got it. He's already doing this automatically for me. So repeat, repeat, repeat. Reward, reward, reward. And these good behaviors will become better, more consistent, and you'll have yourself a nice balanced animal.
A sign that you've done enough leading training and that you're ready to move on is when you can place the lead rope over your equine's neck and walk together in sync without touching him.
That's their way of letting you know it's time to go on to the next stage. What you've done is you have strengthened and balanced them.
Now your equine has made balance a habit. Integrating what he's learned into his daily routine and always leading him in this way will mean that he'll only need tune-ups for shows.
Oh. B, correct it. But. Good girl. Minor corrections this time. Took a whole lot less to do it. She's absolutely 4 square, balanced on all 4 feet, and quite happy.
Remember that your equine learns from you. So if you get careless about leading him, he'll be careless about complying, and his balance will be compromised again. Behavior modification is an important component of athletic conditioning. Using a reward system helps reinforce good behaviors. At Lucky 3 Ranch, only crimped oats are used for food rewards.
Okay, you want these? Or would you rather have this?
Crimped oats have a sweet taste, are a good source of carbohydrates, and your equine won't become tired of them. They don't cause hypertension,
those?
and
Or
they're not
these?
dangerous in large quantities. Your equine will be an enthusiastic partner, and he'll be motivated to continue to work. Behavior modification is more than just rewarding good behaviors that you see. It's also about learning how to set up an environment so that the animal can succeed and be rewarded frequently. As the trainer, you must constantly identify what is good behavior, as it constantly changes throughout the different stages of training. By doing this, you learn when and how to reward good behavior, and how to apply negative reinforcement when it is truly needed. Remembering to consider your equine's mental and emotional health, as well as his physical health, will result in a calmer, more secure, and happier equine. One part of setting up an environment for success is communication. Like humans, equines have different personalities that learn differently. If your equine is having trouble with a task, try to ask in a different way and break it down into small steps so he can succeed.
Good girl. That's all I'm gonna do on that one. Good girl.
This is particularly important when you move to obstacles.
We've done the work on the flat now, and now we're gonna take this one step further. We have begun the cultivation of balance and strength And now we're going to add coordination.
Coordination exercises involve many complicated movements like stepping up, stepping down, and moving laterally.
When you're working on obstacles, it's important not to use your lead shank. You want the animal to take responsibility for his own balance. In order for him to do that successfully, you can't be grabbing onto the rope right here either, because you'll be doing the same thing. You'll pull him off balance. He's got to take responsibility for his own body. So what you want to do is hold your lead rope in your left hand like this, and you can kind of put your hand here to kind of slow him down or speed him up or get him straightened out or whatever you want him to do.
The first stage is to help your equine overcome his inherent fear and replace it with curiosity. This gives him the tools to cope with those challenges and creates a confident equine who has trust in himself. Take this slowly and be methodical. It's a much more humane approach than desensitizing him by putting obstacles in his stall. The next stage is to do simple, straightforward obstacles. Again, break these down into small steps that your equine can understand easily. And don't ask for too much, too quickly.
So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do some ground rails for you first. Remember that you have to have your legs doing what his front legs are doing, and it's going to get a little confusing when they get out of balance, but just do the best you can through this stage, and it will get better with practice. Lance, walk on. Ah, good, easy. Lance, listen. Lance. Lance, Lance, Lance. 1, 2, 3, and whoa. Good boy. Set up. Ah, you're not set up. Set up. Good boy. Very good.
Ground rails and cavaletti promote stretching of the body, true forward motion, and develop rhythm, balance, cadence, and suspension to the gaits.
Francis. Francis, that's very good.
After beginning to learn where his feet are, moving to the bridge helps him develop hoof-eye coordination.
Good girl. 1, 2. Stop. Whoa. Stop in front of it. Ah. Come up. Ho. Ho. Stay square. Good boy. Reward. Don't want him to rush these obstacles. Okay, come up. Oh. Good boy, get square.
When you have your animal square up in each position, he learns how to rebalance his own body.
A little bit. Good.
The biggest difficulty is stepping off the bridge and keeping the two front legs on the ground
Down.
and the two back legs on the bridge.
Down.
You can easily see how their balance falls forward.
There we had a loss of balance, see? That little step down threw him off balance. Okay, this is the hard part. Because she's running through me, I tried to discourage her. Get out a little bit in front of her. Come. Whoa, whoa, good. That's what we want. There we go. Girl, just gave her a little extra support in front. She just needed a little help with her balance. Walk on. Square it up. Back foot. Perfect. Good girl. And there you have it.
Moving on to the tarp, your equine's balance and coordination will be affected dramatically.
Come here. Come on.
The uneven surface and noise will cause him to veer off balance from side to side. The goal is straightness, balance, and a regular rhythm to his footfall patterns.
Good. Excellent. What a good girl. Okay, here we are with the tarp with Lance. He's got to check it out. They've always got to check it out. And you know what? Just because it's good one day doesn't mean it's going to be good the next. So it really pays to take these things in little tiny steps, one step at a time. I'm going to ask you to come put your foot on here. Come on, just put it up here. Good boy. Yeah, you put some feet on here. Good. Notice the shift in the balance as he did it. He kind of moved to the inside. But the one thing I want to do is keep him nice and calm. One of the things that they may try to do is they may try to go around you and leap and pull and whatever. And if they do, just kind of let them do it. Then just come back again and do it again. Walk on. Oh, you got to look at it again? Okay. Can we go one more step? Good, good. Bring back here. Whoa. Good. That's very good. Yeah. Now notice he's kind of sort of balanced. He's kind of under himself, a little hunched, a little hesitant, but actually he's doing very well. Okay, Lance, come on. Going a little sideways and a little bit of rushed at the end, not very much, not too bad. Try her with the hind feet. Come forward.
The tractor tire asks your equine to adjust his stride as he steps through the middle of the tire. In addition to balance and coordination, the obstacle addresses forward motion and simple lateral movements.
One of the things we're going to do with your animal first is just get him to go through it, get him to step through it, get him used to it. Lance is not advanced enough to do those pivots, but he's going to show you how you need to get used to it. So Lance, let's take a look over here. Step here and let's just put it in. Oh, that's very good. That's very good. Yes, it is. Again, we don't want him to rush through the obstacle. We want him to wait till we tell them they can exit. Okay, come on. Walk on. And ho. Whoa. Good boy. Square up. Good boy. As you can see, he's correcting himself, getting more so and more so all the time. Good boy. Now we'll bring on the advanced moves.
Once your equine can do this exercise calmly and purposefully, you can ask for turns on the forehand and the haunches.
Now I'm going to show you how you can do the pivots on these things. Be very careful with your movements. Stay in tight with your mule. Do not be afraid to step in there with your mule. If they don't see you step in, they probably won't do it because they'll figure something's wrong. So just keep your control. We're going to get the front legs in and then we're going to do a pivot. When you indicate on the hindquarters for her to swing them around, that you don't hit them too hard, just a little bitty tap. Because if you do, if you hit them too hard, you're going to get an overreaction and things are going to fall apart. Okay, sweetheart, let's put your feet in here. Come on. Come on. Let it go. And more in the middle so you got some room. Good girl. Okay. Over. Over. Watch yourself. Over. 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 Very good. Now we're going to put the hind feet in. Try her with the hind feet. Come forward. Come forward. Whoa. Good girl. Okay. Move over. Again, be careful. Make sure these front feet are coming forward so she can cross over. Come on. Good. Come on over. There. Come out. Whoa. Square. Yeah, good girl. Okay. A little more difficulty.
The more difficult the exercises, the more patient you need to be. Taking pauses at each step allows your equine to process the task and gives you the opportunity to reward his compliance and good behavior.
Good. Excellent, Spud.
The back through L polishes your equine's response to whoa and improves his body awareness. Begin by walking forward through the obstacle, then stop and back through slowly. With your direction, he learns to allow you to adjust the different quarters of his body and to move them independently. You'll learn how to fine-tune your cues by watching his responses.
Kind of guiding him here over to the side with the halter and trying to keep his body in line by hitting center here. Good boy. You see his balance is shifting, but the more he does it, the better he's going to be. Okay, good boy. Okay, you ready for the tires? Let's walk through.
The 6 tires obstacle is a challenge for coordination because there are so many places for your equine to put his feet. The tire placement can be staggered in a number of different ways to keep him alert and careful about his foot placement. Your equine will want to waver and step out of the sides, but you want deliberate foot placement and straight lines over the tires.
Okay, so I kind of rushed through that a little bit. Practice, practice, and it'll get better. He was still following my feet, and I was staying there with him. It's very important, and I can't stress it enough. If you won't do it, he won't do it. Okay, we're on the last and most difficult obstacle you'll probably encounter, and these are the T-posts.
The T fine-tunes correct lateral motion in a balanced fashion and lays the groundwork for perfect communication between you.
This is when you get into your side passing. And it's very, very difficult, and it's imperative that you do not over-cue your animal. And when they're first starting, you just don't want to get them in the habit of falling out of balance and running out of the obstacle. Just stop where you are. Don't let them take you away from it. If they start to pull, just wiggle that fanny pack and get their attention. Get them to stop wherever they are. Even if they swing their hindquarters around, go back, repeat, try again. This one's tough. It's really tough. Come on, baby.
Your equine must have completed the straightforward exercises and the lateral tractor tire before attempting this advanced obstacle. Strive to have both the front and back feet crossing over in an almost simultaneous fashion, but take this one step at a time. Do not rush this.
Notice I'm raising and lowering my hand. Don't want to overcue. Atta girl. Good girl. Whoa, whoa. Let's get the front end caught up with the back. Easy. Atta girl.
This obstacle really begins to develop the inside forearms, gaskin, and stifle muscles correctly.
A little wobbly, but not too bad for an old girl. Good girl. Okay, now we're going to go this way. Now, if you got a younger one that's first starting, you're going to give that reward every step. But since this one's older, not going to do it. Over. That a girl. Good. Good. Move over. Easy. Come on. Okay. Hindquarters around. Easy. Good girl. Step, step, hindquarter, front, hindquarter, front, hindquarter, front, front, move over, good, good girl, okay, all right, that's a tough one. It'll take you a long time to get there, but just be willing to practice, practice, practice.
Colorful Colorado, with its majestic Rocky Mountains and wide open spaces, also boasts the Loveland Long-Ears Museum and Sculpture Park at the Lucky 3 Ranch, home of some of the finest mules and donkeys in the world. This working ranch is just 40 miles north of Denver. World-renowned authority on mules and donkeys, Meredith Hodges, invites you and your family for an adventure in learning you won't want to miss. Come visit the Lucky 3 Ranch, meet Meredith, her champion mules and donkeys, and take in the beauty of her long-ears art for the experience of a lifetime.
Hi, I'm Meredith Hodges, and welcome to the Lucky 3 Ranch Training Tips. I get a lot of letters and emails from people with training and behavior questions about their equines. So I'm going to take you back to the beginning with a series of training tips that work for all equines. A supple equine is a pliable, self-confident, and healthy equine. That is why it's so important that he learns how to properly bend through his rib cage. The benefits will be enormous and will last a lifetime. Start out by leading straight forward and then move into a gradual turn, allowing his leg to the outside of the arc to lead into the turn. In the beginning, make long, gradual arcs to help keep your equine erect throughout the move. Increase the degree of arc with each new lesson as he begins to bend more and more through his rib cage. Leading is generally done from the left side, but in order to condition his muscles evenly on both sides, change the side you lead from and do the same arcs in the opposite direction. If your equine is an older animal that has not had the benefit of good posture training, you can use the elbow pull with a bridle and surcingle to help him find his good posture. Then, while he's in the elbow pull, proceed with your planned exercises in the hourglass pattern. Use of the elbow pull is a second stage leading training technique for older animals only and is not to be used on animals under 2 years of age. Use the hourglass pattern to help organize your curved lines or arcs, and never make abrupt turns at the onset of leading training, as this will throw him off balance. Remember, for symmetrical muscle conditioning and good posture, do all exercises in both directions. After several lessons, he should be able to bend through his rib cage during more gradual turns. If at this point you want some variation, add large circles at the cones, and as he improves, make the circles smaller so he can gradually learn to bend more and more through his rib cage. Learning to stay erect and properly bend his body through his rib cage is essential for your equine's well-being and in preparing him for the time when he will learn to correctly carry a rider.
Here's an engineer. How did you know that?
So we go see a huge mule. Because this thing, too fine. Stroke with the head, that's all you gotta do. Okay, come on, boys, let's go. Come on.
Every owner knows that a well taken care of equine is a happy equine. More and more, a technique being used to enhance our animals' overall conditioning is equine massage.
What you have to realize is you're training an animal in their muscle tissue, and their muscle tissue has to be able to perform the task that you're asking the animal to perform. If you're having a hard time doing the advanced things, you need to go back to the beginning. The massage helps break the pattern of the neurons that fire to that muscle, that tell it to contract, to contract, to contract.
With proper instruction, just about anyone can learn to give their equine the benefit of basic massage.
I've been working on equines for a long time, and a lot of people look at you and hope that you can just come out and make an animal better. And you can't do that. It takes two pieces, the massage as well as the exercise. And the exercise is actually more important than the massage. And that's something that people really have to understand. And Meredith's tapes do that. And a lot of people don't want to take that long a time frame. They just want to do their 60 days, get on the animal and ride them. But that's not really where you can go with their backs.
For more intensive therapeutic massage, be sure to consult a professional. Equine massage not only enhances your animal's health and overall condition, it's also a deeply personal and rewarding bonding experience for both of you.
Many of you who love your horses also love your dogs. This type of massage can be beneficial for all your pets. If you want to improve your animal's quality of life, I can help. I can either teach you how to do it, or I can massage your dogs for you. Contact me at dogmassage.com.
Hi, I'm Meredith Hodges, and welcome to the Lucky 3 Ranch Training Tips. I get a lot of letters and emails from people with training and behavior questions about their equines. So I'm going to take you back to the beginning with a series of training tips that work for all equines. Ordinarily, the elbow pull is a self-correcting restraint that I use for lunging in the second year of training. However, there are certain circumstances when it has value during leading training and when used with the surcingle. The elbow pull should never be used on any equine under the age of 2 years. Because their first year will be spent learning sufficient leading training, an equine will have to wait until the second year to be introduced to the snaffle bridle and surcingle, which must both be used to engage the elbow pull. The elbow pull will stop your equine from raising his head to the point where he hollows his neck and back and will keep him in reasonably correct posture. The elbow pull can be used during leading training review with an older animal that's never had the benefit of developing strength and good posture. If you have an older animal with unsoundness, the elbow pull also has rehabilitation value, as it will encourage good balance and stop aggravation to joints and soft tissue that is caused by any imbalance your equine may have. Moving incorrectly can cause pinching, rubbing, and other such aggravations to soft tissues between the bones, tendons, ligaments, and cartilage. If these problems have not progressed too far, using the elbow pull can prevent continuing aggravation and deterioration, as in the case of side bones or ring bone. Your equine's new balanced position in the elbow pull gives relief and stops acceleration of these types of problems. Your equine will feel much more comfortable once he learns better equine posture and will be a much more willing partner during training and other equine activities.
Artwork inspired by mules and donkeys is quickly gaining popularity. Tennessee mule artist Bonnie Shields has the uncanny ability to capture the fun-loving nature of these free-spirited animals.
They were like a horse, but they weren't like a horse. They had a little different body. They used their body a different way. They certainly had a different mental attitude. So they started intriguing me as an artist, and I kept finding the differences between them and the horse, both physically and in their reaction to things. So that started my love affair with the mule. When you deal with the mule, you're not always in charge. So it takes a little bit of a different kind of personality to appreciate the mule and to work with her.
She was the only artist that could really capture the essence of mules and donkeys. Mules and donkeys are really good teachers and teachers of life lessons. And Bonnie has just been an inspiration to me ever since. Wow, how'd it do?
Whoa. I know that all through the years, Meredith gives tours to the ranch. But what a wonderful addition to this whole ranch would be a sculpture park just for the mules and the donkeys. So I just thought it was an awesome idea. And then she let me be part of it. It's a wonderful thing, and when you come to visit the Lucky Three, it's just an added bonus. Mule people, you reckon I could get Meredith to make a tape on how to teach your mule to shovel snow? I sure gonna try. Wish me luck.
Just a wonderful human being, and working with her is always humorous. She is just funny as the day is long, and so I thought that she would be absolutely perfect as the illustrator for the Jasper series that I wanted to do.
The Daydreamers was inspired by a thing that I saw years ago. I heard about this family up in Kentucky. They'd been working to back out in the field with their mules. And one of the boys, he was laying across this mule's back, laying in the shade. They'd been working, and he was resting on the back of his mule in the shade. That just kind of stuck with me, and I thought, gee, a kid like that, you know, he thinks he's stuck on the farm. He thinks he's stuck doing all this terrible old work, and he's laying up there and he's daydreaming about getting away from it all. So that's where Daydreamer came from. Sculpture's not the only thing I do. Matter of fact, I got into sculpture maybe a little later in my career. Mostly, I was known for my pencil drawings and my acrylic paintings for many, many years.
Long Ear's art. It may be whimsical, like a cartoon, or it may simply be breathtaking. Long Ears are taking their place in the world of art, and it's the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
And now Lance and I are going to go out and show you how to negotiate a jump for the first time or so. And the one thing I want you to observe is that I'm going to climb over the jump first. If you just walk around the end of it, they're going to think that's the way it's supposed to be done. But if they see you go over it, then they will mimic what you do, even if you have to crawl over it. So we're going to go for it. Shall we, Lance? Come on. Walk on.
Jumping strengthens and develops the hindquarters and teaches him how to lengthen and compress his body as needed to control his stride. Begin jumps on the lead line. In the beginning, be sure to keep the jumps low and easy to get over, and don't over-jump your animal.
I'm going to stop him in front of this because I don't want him to just take off over it. I want him to do these things on command. So I'm going to reward him for stopping. I'm going to ask him to wait by going to the total end of the lead rope and leaving him here. I'll crawl over, get to this side, whoa, have him wait, and then come. Lance, come. Whoa.
The lead line stop, jump, stop procedure maintains control and builds strength, balance, and attentiveness.
Nope, put it down. Good boy. All righty. When they're rewarded for what they do, there isn't anything they won't try for you. They may make a mistake now and again, but they'll keep trying and they'll just keep getting better and better and better.
Training in this sequential order helps the animal understand what you're asking and builds muscle in the correct frame. If something isn't working and he can't seem to comply, ask for an honest attempt. If he tries hard but doesn't perform entirely, he can still be rewarded and you can stop the lesson. Appreciate the little victories at each stage of training, rather than making riding the only important goal. The early stages of training your equine are the foundation for all other work you'll do with him. Showmanship and obstacle training, lunging and ground driving take an average of 2 to 3 years. When you don't take the time to build these muscles slowly without the rider during groundwork, the animal can experience soreness or loss of balance, and you can get resistant behaviors. The perception that an equine's long, wide back is perfect to carry a rider is actually a misconception. Let's take a moment to explore bone structure and relative muscle strength with the help of an equine chiropractor.
Well, from the chiropractic perspective, there's 3 different areas that we look at when an animal has a back or a neck problem. Usually we look at soft tissue injuries. Those usually involve muscles, ligaments, or tendons. The second area is usually bony type problems, either related to the skeleton or the joints, arthritis, fractures, problems with the bones. And then the third area is we look at for neurologic problems. Horses actually were not made to have us riding on their back. They were made evolutionarily to run long distances, to reach water sources, or to reach grazing areas. For us to ask them to carry us on their back has been a lot for them to deal with. Actually, the best animal that we could do for riding is cows, because the joints in their back are actually more interlocking. So they've designed evolutionarily to carry more weight on their back. So cows are better designed, but we just don't have much of a need for racing cows. The vertebrae in the wither region are characterized by having very tall spinous processes. And then the area where we actually sit in the saddle is actually right behind the spinous processes, or the tall spinous process, so the saddle is actually sitting in this area here. And the first spinous process is about T3, where we can feel here. So I'm gonna localize my fingers here, and I'm gonna just pull that across, and I feel that there's a little bit of motion there. It's only a couple millimeters, but I'm also looking to see if he raises his head, show me that there's signs of pain, or see if there's any twitching over here for signs of pain. So I'll start there again. So there's T3, T4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think one reason why a lot of people don't focus on the spine is because it's very complex. There's 18 different vertebrae here. They have all the different joints associated with that. And I think that that's why it's important to do more preventative care, because that's where all your legs attach to, that if you have weakness, pain, muscle spasms in your core, then you're having weakness and incoordination and problems walking or doing your athletic activities, especially for horses, because we often have riders on their back too. And so then sometimes the rider's problems can transfer down through the saddle, and then those cause asymmetric forces or pain or muscle spasms in the horse's back too. They have to compensate for that uneven rider.
Balance and posture don't happen overnight, and most equines, like most humans, are not born with good posture. That's why it's paramount to the health of your equine to work in a sequential order of training, starting from the lead line and moving on to groundwork, lunging, ground driving, and finally adding simple patterns that increase in difficulty. The goal is to encourage proper alignment of bony structures and even development of muscles, tendons, and the ligaments around them. When you skip over the preparation exercises, you only build muscle in certain parts of the body and put the other unused muscle groups at risk for injury. Before starting an athletic exercise program, make sure the bones are in correct alignment before beginning to build the hard muscle around them. Using preventative measures along with simple exams and the right kind of exercise is much easier and safer than having to deal with acute or chronic pain later.
Canter. Vicky, reverse. Canter.
Exercises in the round pen are much more stressful and demanding of your equine's muscles, tendons, ligaments, and mental concentration.
April, reverse.
People tend to think that collection means dropping the head and arching the neck. But the hindquarters also need to be fully engaged for him to be able to shorten his stride and elevate his body into true collection. Your equine needs to really stretch and round across the entire top line while sustaining regularity of gait. When you begin lunging training, your equine should always reverse towards the rail. This sets him up naturally on the right diagonal at the trot and the correct canter lead in the new direction. When an equine goes around the circle correctly, his spine and body flex to the arc of the circle. The muscles stretch on the outside of the circle and contract on the inside so that they're equally balanced. You want to make sure that he maintains muscle tone evenly on both sides of the body. In order to build muscles symmetrically, you have to do the circles in both directions.
Okay, let's walk on, Indy. And again, we see a horse that's neck is underdeveloped over the top. He's just been going like this and staying hollow. Holds his back pretty rigid, hollows it out, doesn't really want to move through the torso. And even though he's stepping high and he has a lot of animation, he still is not engaged in the hindquarters. He's pulling with the front feet and dragging a trailer behind. Good boy. He's very gangly. You can see he was taken off on his right lead and his hindquarters took the left lead. This is a very out of balance horse. He's fallen over like a motorcycle. This is going to be very, very disturbing to a rider. And it's hard for a rider to deal with those kinds of things. So it behooves you to put them in good posture, build muscle, and prepare them for riding. Indy, can you give us a canter? Oh yeah, canter. He's going, oh my gosh, I don't know where my feet are. So he's doing the right lead on the front and the left lead on the back. Yet again, common problem. People ask me all the time, my animal won't take the correct lead. What do I do? Go back to the beginning. See how he's starting to find it, but boy, he's having a lot of trouble. So he's saying, okay, I want to go this way because my hindquarters are going this way. So this is what's comfortable. This is what I want to do. Okay, canter, Indy. Indy, canter, canter. But now he's on the left lead in the front and the right lead on the back. If that doesn't show you how these animals will trailer the behind, I don't know what will. This boy here is just, he's totally unaware of his body. Just like us, they don't always know where their body is in space and how to control these long gangly legs and make them work in sync, in rhythm with each other. And it takes a while to develop this.
The elbow pull is a self-correcting device that helps the equine obtain strength and good posture for taking on a rider. When you begin lunging your equine, the elbow pull will keep him in good posture while he moves forward and you encourage the engagement from behind.
What?
You must use a round pen so that the animal can move unobstructed by ropes or lunge lines. Obstructions can throw the equine off balance and cause asymmetrical muscle development that can result in soreness, injury, and resistance. Most equines prefer to begin at the trot and will learn to walk as they become comfortable in the new location.
Have to figure out where she's at now.
Be patient and develop balance, rhythm, and cadence at the walk and trot before moving to the canter.
She's going to test it. Now let's get a real walk. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to have energy in the walk, not a lazy walk. Easy, but not a trot. Let's walk. Good girl.
There we go.
Atta
Now
girl.
she's starting to come down.
Good girl. Walk on. Atta girl. Good girl. Walk on. Come on. She's going, what the heck is this? But now we're starting to see her strike the ground more evenly with even weight on all 4 feet. Good girl. Okay, and trot. Now, you see how she's getting more suspension?
Her back's starting to bend. She's trying to arc instead of bend like a motorcycle.
Exactly. She's really trying to do it.
Yep, you can see the muscle tissue at times start to flex and work.
When the walk and trot are smooth and the elbow pull is loose throughout the lesson, you can ask for the canter.
And canter. Canter, can you do it?
At first, the canter may be quick, with the hind legs close together, jumping at every stride almost like a rabbit. To help him with balance at the canter, you can slightly tighten the elbow pull to lend more support. When using an elbow pull on a horse, don't hard tie it, but loop the two ends around each other so they'll pull loose if enough pressure is applied. Adjust it as necessary throughout the lesson.
So I'm just going to take it to where it's comfortable for him. He is showing me he's ready to give, and it's not too tight, and this is okay with him. Let's see if you can find your balance.
With any equine, start slowly and only ask him to do what is easy and comfortable.
Good boy.
He will eventually find his own good posture with the help of the elbow pull.
That's it.
Some equines might fight against it for a little while.
Oh, woohoo! Well, this is interesting.
This reaction isn't because the elbow pull is too tight. It's because the equine can test the limits.
Okay, you got it to pull loose. Are you happy with yourself? Of course.
It's only adjusted enough so that he can't throw his head up and hollow out his neck and back.
Okay, walk on. That's it. Good, Indy. Good boy. That's it, just don't pull on it. Just don't pull on it. That's right. Good boy. Good, Indy. Oh, Indy, wonderful. Whoa. Good boy.
Give your equine enough time and work him often and long enough so that his muscles, tendons, and ligaments are toned and that he becomes comfortable in his new posture. You'll know he's comfortable when he can go around with the elbow pull remaining loose at all times. In a beginning animal, he'll only be strong enough to sustain good posture and balance for a limited number of strides before tiring. He'll move in and out of good posture. With each lesson, he'll be able to sustain for longer periods of time. Use a gradual approach with lunging, increasing in length of time and difficulty with each lesson. Lessons should be short, no more than 10 to 20 minutes every other day, to allow muscles to rest between sessions. Now that your equine has learned to follow your instructions on the lead line, over obstacles, and in the round pen, it's time to introduce the bit. There are many different kinds of bits, and at Lucky 3 Ranch, the preferred bit is the egg butt snaffle bit.
They're hinged correctly. There's no place for these animals to get pinched. They're hinged nicely in the middle, and when you pull on this bit, unlike what most people think, they think that this has a crackerjack effect on the tongue, but it actually doesn't. When you pull on this bit, it slides over the top of the tongue, kind of like that. But it won't get pinched here on the corners of the mouth at all, and again, you want it to fit.
It places pressure on the corners of the lips instead of on the tongue. This is called a direct rein action. If you pull on the right rein, the animal's head moves directly and freely to the right. And it's the same for the left.
Come back. Back.
Whether you use a snaffle bit or a curb bit, when you pull back, the indication is clear for the animal to back. When you release, he knows to go forward. The corners of the mouth are the most sensitive to vibration, so he'll respond to less and less pressure as he learns what you want through repetition. Many people assume that if an animal doesn't comply, they need to use a stronger bit. The truth is that the trainer needs to address their own communication practices and learn how to cooperate with their equine instead of trying to control him.
Okay, GV, walk on.
Ground driving is wonderful preparation for the rein cues your equine will experience in driving and riding. The first step is to get him comfortable and responsive to the drive lines. Begin in a round pen and then move to an open arena. This challenges your technique with the reins and his responsiveness.
Well, we've done a lot of work in showmanship training, lead line training over obstacles, getting your mules strengthened and getting them thinking about going in straight lines, making nice smooth circles, going over the obstacles and developing coordination. Now he has the task of having to try to take responsibility for his own body over obstacles. So instead of being in front of him, I'm going to put him in front of me. And that makes a big difference with them. It kind of messes with their confidence, and they really need to learn to trust you to be able to go on that way. They have to be very secure with the obstacles, and that's why the lead line training is so important before you go to the ground driving stage. So let's get started. Good boy. He's waiting for me. Whoa, come here. Boy. I'm definitely going to reward him for that. That was brave. That was very brave and very good. You've taught trust, you've taught confidence, you've taught how to negotiate his body over these obstacles and patterns, and he hasn't had the benefit of really having the bit worked on yet. Walk on. Walk on. Walk on. Good boy. Walk on. Attaboy. And whoa. What a good boy. That was a major accomplishment for this boy. He's been afraid of that tarp for a long time, much less just on the lead line. But now to take responsibility for himself, this is a milestone for this mule.
During ground driving, be sure to clarify your equine's movements with the verbal commands he's learned when lunging. This helps him associate rein control with a command he already knows, and you won't need to pull on the reins as much. If he's submissive in ground driving when your hands are attached to his mouth with a direct rein, he learns your touch and signals and will respond appropriately. This will carry over when you get on and ride.
Walk on. Walk on. Good boy. Now, my feet are following the hind feet now. Good boy. That's it. Okay, now this is going to get tricky. Yeah, boy. This way. My fault, miscue on the part of the driver. Walk on. Let's try it again. Too busy talking to you and not paying attention. Just said I was supposed to be following the hind feet, and then I didn't, and look what happened. Okay, good boy, good boy. Good. Whoa. Okay, come back. Come back. Swing hindquarters. Attaboy. Attaboy. Good boy. This definitely deserves a reward. Good boy. That's it.
Your equine needs to learn that when you pull right, he should go right, and that when you pull left, he needs to go left. The rider has to develop good hands and communicate gently.
You can't pull harder. You're going to get an overreaction. My animals work on little finger motions, and that's how I start with them. I don't get into pulling matches with these guys unless they're just going crazy off to the side or something. No.
In this situation, the appropriate reaction is to pull and release and try again, each time working towards the lightest contact possible.
Good. Come on. Good girl.
Ground driving has tremendous value by enhancing your own body awareness and the body awareness of your equine. This, in turn, enhances the communication between you. Your equine is now physically, mentally, and emotionally ready to carry a rider.
If you want your animal in good posture, you have to pay attention to your own posture because they watch you. The animals mimic what you do, and you mimic what they do. I see this with people all the time. They're leading their horses, and you watch the way the people move, and the horses are moving the same way, and the mules and the donkeys, the same thing. And so while you're conditioning your animal, think about conditioning yourself. You know, when you go in at night, you know, go ahead and do some stretching exercises for your own body and strengthen your own body. Remember, too, when you get on your animal, that you don't use that strength against your animal. You use the strength for yourself to make yourself relax and go nice and quiet through your inner thighs, and think about the energy running from your core, which is deep in your gut here, right behind your belly button. The energy should go down through each of your legs to the ground. When you're riding, you should feel it going from one side to the other like you're walking. The energy is flowing down, 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 down. And then the other part of that is that in order to keep that seat stable, you can't have all your weight down here like this, because then you're going to start going like this. So that's too much weight. So the energy from the core up is to straighten you up. You pretend there's a string attached to the top of your head and is pulling you up. At the same time, the energy is going down. And that will keep you evenly balanced over your animal and give the animal some relaxation between your legs to go ahead and move. And you'll be able to move with them, because what you're doing is the same thing we're doing with this elbow pull here. You're stretching your vertebrae in your spine. Your animal needs to learn where his body is in space and learn how to keep his posture good and equal balance over all 4 feet and learn to go in rhythm and cadence. People need to do that too.
The hourglass pattern demands both rider and equine be in balance and harmony. The rider will clearly see how their posture and body directly affect the balance of the equine. The hourglass seems simple, but this particular pattern challenges your equine to balance his body in good posture in an open space. If you follow the sequential training, he has already practiced ground driving through the hourglass. He should understand the pattern and know that he should be moving in straight lines, but he now has a rider affecting his balance. Initially, he'll seem to be weaving through the pattern. Understand that this motion is coming from your own imbalance, and your equine is simply trying to compensate for having you on board.
That's a good boy. I gotta help you too, don't I? That's a good boy. Good, Merlin. Such a good job. Such a good job. The nice thing about this is that when you do all this pre-work, the wigglies aren't as bad as if you didn't do it at all. Okay, Merlin, let's trot, 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 trot. Good.
You'll experience several stages. The first is a reluctance to move. When he does begin to move, the weaving will begin. Once the balance between you is settled, he'll start to speed up through the pattern. In order to slow your equine, don't pull hard on the reins. Simply take large circles at the cones. This allows your equine to adjust his own balance with minimal interference. Remember to keep the lessons short and never more than every other day, and stay watchful for any soreness or injury. The relationship you've built through the sequential building blocks of training, patience, mutual respect, and communication will create a partnership that will last a lifetime. Athletic conditioning is more than just physical training. It means paying strict attention to your equine as a whole and balancing all the components in your equine's life. When you watch and listen and are willing to modify your approach and keep your equine's best interests at heart, there's nothing he won't do for you willingly if he's capable.
Come on, trot, trot. Trot, trot.
The skeletal frame or building blocks of an equine athlete must be sound and in alignment before you begin exercising muscle. Make sure you're always exercising your equine in good posture from the time you take him from his pen to the time you return him to his stall. Understanding the elements of athletic conditioning, from balance, strength, and coordination, and good posture, and how all this contributes to your equine's ability to perform with a rider, will help you become a better equestrian with a happier and healthier equine.
Having problems? Need an accessible trainer? Whether you're just a weekend trail rider or showing, the principles of training are the same. You want a safe and reliable equine companion. Produced by Meredith Hodges, Training Mules and Donkeys, a logical approach to long ears, will help you build a good working relationship with your animal. Meredith reveals the secrets of successful maintenance and resistance-free training that can be implemented by anyone, resulting in a satisfying partnership between you and your equine. Meredith answers your training questions promptly via mail or phone. Her books are great general resources and her videos are detailed, outlining the day-to-day exercises needed to produce a versatile and dependable equine companion. Meredith's techniques work with all equines. Do you have children, grandchildren? Check out Jasper, the story of a mule. For more information, check out our website at www.lucky3ranch.com or call 1-800-816-7566.
Mules are working their way into the hearts of people everywhere. If you'd like to know more about these wonderful long-eared animals, you can contact us at 1-800-816-7566 or get on our website at lucky3ranch.com.
Dusty old quilt hung crooked on a couch in an old stone house by a lazy river. Songbirds singing to me like slow